Mike's hot.
Hi, hello, welcome, Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you back with us. We are on the road today in beautiful Baton Rouge, Louisiana, with our good friends at Talk 107.3 Garrity Broadcasting, and we appreciate them joining us today. As always, it's the Matthew James Tax Pro Hotline, and of course, it'll be like that again today. Having a good time. Always good to come back to Baton Rouge. I always call it my home area because I was born and raised in Plaquemine, but I ended up going to high school at a place that I first guest knows all about, Redemptorist High School. You know, it's amazing. I'm going to get to my two guests. I went to Redemptorist High School. Somebody wants to see my degree. They want to know where the high school's at. There's no high school. I went to Northeast. I got a degree. There's no Northeast. I got 2 degrees. If y'all want them, I'll give them to y'all. I don't know what they're worth at this point. Anyway, you hear a guy laughing. A couple of them I got. Mayor Sid Edwards joins us, and it's a pleasure to see you, man.
Man, honor to be here with a fellow Wolfpack alum, for sure.
We also got his executive director right here, Mason Batson. I've been knowing Mason for a while. Mason, good to see you.
Good to see you too, man. Although I'm not in the Wolfpack, I'm excited to be here.
Okay. Is the mic on? Get a little closer, Mason. Say that again.
Although I'm not in the Wolfpack, but I'm excited to be here.
Okay, we're good.
His
All
mic
right,
is not on.
Okay, his mic's not on.
He's coming through the Comrex. That's why. So the Comrex.
Oh, you know what? We're gonna have to. Can he use your mic? Is that doable? Okay, Mason, we'll get you. He's over there. We'll get to Mason in just a second. Mayor said, first of all, and I hadn't seen you since before or since the election, and it's been a little while now. What has it been now? A year and a half?
Oh, no, 9 months. A good
Not long.
Yeah.
I had to ask the question, but you know, congratulations. I mean, that was a. I know when your name first popped out, I mean, people said, "Oh, as a coach, oh, this ain't gonna work, just to do that and do that." But the bottom line is, Baton Rouge wanted to change, and you would have changed candidate. There's no doubt about it. I mean, do you ever dream you'd be sitting there going from a coach to elected official?
Not at all. I think about it 9 months ago. I call it a good pregnancy. 9 months ago, I was on lunch duty at Struma High School in the 70805, directing traffic and coaching football, and then bam, you know, a little while later, I'm the mayor president. But, you know, God led that. That's God led. No other way to put it.
Yeah. You, and I got to believe, by the way, let me introduce him again. Mason Bass Jones, of course, he's your executive director. I hear you now, brother. Yeah, he only wanted 10 minutes, but I told him we couldn't do that. A little side joke, folks, a little side joke. Well, you know what? Next time, be a Redemptorist Wolf graduate, a Redemptorist Wolf person. You can be okay with that. Yeah. So going back to the mayor. So mayor, I mean, is it a lot like coaching? Or is it nothing to do with coaching?
No, it's a lot like coaching. I mean, it's leadership. It's leading people. It's loving people. I was worried. You know, the night we won, I was like, now what? You know, I mean, you know,
you're that dog that finally caught that car. That's what happened.
No doubt. And I'm like, okay, because you know the big thing, the whole thing in the campaign is can an old ball coach do this? And I wasn't even sure, but I wasn't gonna say that when I was campaigning. But now that I've been in it, Moon, this ain't rocket science. It's cake, man. You love people. Don't get me wrong. There's frustration.
Oh no, it's hard. I know it's the hard stuff. Yeah.
But it's all good.
You know, as big as that was to you, you can give this experience of going from what you were doing to what you're doing now. Can you imagine? And I'm only going to bring this up for one time. Can you imagine Donald Trump? He's a business guy out there, and he goes from that to being president of the United States, the most powerful man in the world. What you did is tremendous. Can you imagine the other one?
No, I can't.
When he turned around, it was so much more stuff to do. But you probably got a lot more to do now than being a coach and a teacher, too.
Oh, we do. I mean, it's my first lie as a politician was the night we won. I told my wife, look, no more coaching. I'll be home earlier than usual. I lied because
I could have told you that.
Yeah, I mean it's a 7-day a week, 24-hour job, and I love it. I absolutely.
But that was
love
the next thing. Do you like your job? Because if you like it, you're gonna want to do the best you possibly can.
Mostly, I mean, there's just some, I don't like some of the things that go along with it. I mean, it's a dirty job, right? I mean, I call it like it is. It can be dirty, but 99% of it, just like 99% of the really good people in Baton Rouge and the parish, that's who I'm serving. So I'll wake up with a grateful heart every morning and get ready to attack.
You know, it's like you using football terms, you using sport terms. You're not wasn't just a football coach. You were successful in everything you did. but in a way, being a competitor had to help you go through the campaign because as an athlete and a former athlete, at least I thought it was a former athlete,
Yes.
you compete and you compete against yourself and you compete against the negative that
Right.
comes out. He can't play. He ain't good enough. He ain't quick enough. He ain't smart enough. He'll never win. You know, you had to go against that. And I guarantee you, without going into detail, you can probably tell me all the negatives that came out about Sid Edwards was now a great guy in the community yesterday, but now he's in politics. He's not a great guy now.
Oh, that I'm learning that quick. You know, there's two sides of the coin. You're going to make half happy, half are not going to be so happy. But if I lay my head on the pillow at night knowing that we're going to do what we feel is in the best interests of the citizens of this parish, and that's what I do, and I sleep well with it.
You, real quick, and somebody in Shreveport and all that, they don't know you. You were a very, very, very successful high school coach. And give us a little background on the coaching, where you coached at. You don't have to go into all the detail. And you won several state championships in your coaching, not only district titles, but state championships right here in Louisiana, right here in this area.
Yeah, I was blessed with good people for sure, great players.
Aren't you glad you didn't have to coach me?
Oh, man, hey, Moon, you got to remember, I was chubby. I couldn't make the team. I ate popcorn and watched you play. Folks, y'all don't know. He's talking about me. Moon Griffon, the basketball player, was a stud.
Oh,
He could
my
roll.
God.
He could roll. And then
He's being awful kind.
No,
I'll tell you that.
the team y'all had, boy, it was fun to watch. They don't build them like that no more.
Yeah, that was, we had, my senior year, we had 11 seniors.
Yeah, that's rare.
And then we had a super stud named Derek Taylor, who was a sophomore. And, of course, Howard Carter was the big deal. But Kuda Mansour, Kuda was probably as good an athlete as you'll find.
No doubt.
You know what made Kuda better? He
What's that?
competed.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
That dude used to compete, man.
Hate to lose.
We lost Jerry Kafassi about a year or so ago.
Yeah, that's right.
And that dude would average 20 points at any other school but Redemptorist.
That's right.
He was such a good player, and he passed away, and I was really sad to see that. But we had guys come off the bench and guys that could play that you never heard of because they never made the box scores.
Yeah.
But boy, I tell you what, roll a ball out. What I noticed about Redemptorist when I went there, if you roll a ball out, and it was every sport, but since I played basketball and baseball, when you roll a ball out and just fun, just playing, they'd bust you in the butt, baby. You roll it out there to practice, they'll bust you in the fanny. And that's what I learned. I said, boy, these boys are serious about it right here.
Yeah, we played in that cracker box right there off Plank Road. That's what they called it.
I know. That was hell to go play.
Mason, when the bell rang for school to let out at 2:40, if you wanted to see the basketball game, you better run to that gym because you wouldn't get in it.
They would pack it out for the freshman game, especially against certain teams.
Oh,
it was not a big gym, but I think if you'd have doubled the size, it probably would have done the same thing.
Same thing.
Because remember, they built the new gym after we left.
That's right.
A year or two after that gym popped up.
That's right.
Boy, you remember the
Good
days.
memories.
But now you were at Struma when you finished?
I finished. I started coaching when I was 16 years old. I was still in high school, and then I was at Catholic High, Baton Rouge, for 10 years as the freshman coach. Mm-hmm. I did a one-year basketball
You didn't coach Moscona, did you?
No, well, yes, I did. Yes, I did. Now
you didn't coach Brandon Landry, did you?
Let's just say this. Moscona,
you didn't coach Brandon Landry?
I did.
That's my first cousin.
Okay. Let's just say they were both really smart guys. Okay. But they were good athletes. And but I did Catholic, I did Redemptorist. I had a one-year stint coaching basketball at Nicholls State with Ricky Broussard.
Yeah, I remember.
And then Central for 17 years.
Wow.
And then
I don't know if you know this, but my bride is from Central.
Oh, I did not know that.
She was a Di Girolamo.
Okay.
They were glad she went Griffon, not because she married me, just because you could say the last name and spell it.
Yeah, say it a little faster.
Mason, can you spell Di Girolamo?
I'm not
real quick.
Try.
You're executive guy. You got to know how to spell Di Girolamo.
I can't even say it real quick. Say that 3 times fast.
But a quick question, Mason. I got to believe working for this gentleman that the coaching comes out a lot. The pep talks.
All
we can do this. Hey, we can do this. I don't care what the opposition says. Here's our plan. Am I right?
All day, every day. Pep talks and chewing some butt sometimes, too.
Well, hold up now. I've been chewed out by some of the best. I mean, Rick Huckabee, Gary Dewey, and I played for a guy, and you probably remember Weed Bush.
Oh, yeah.
Let me tell you something.
Legend.
That was a guy that was he was when you got between the lines, he didn't smile much.
No.
He coached hard. But I tell you what, playing for him and going to play for Huckabee, I think I played for two of the best coaches that
You
ever
did.
coached in high school in basketball.
You did.
Those guys were really two of the – and then Gary Dewey was around. He was assistant.
Right.
But still, I've been around Gary and played. I got chewed out by Gary, too, by the way.
Oh, I can imagine. No doubt.
Yeah, he was assistant. I thought, well, I got one guy's going to be on my side. Yeah, he was. He was on my side, in my face, and in my ears.
Oh, he's
Yeah, I just wanted to just relive because you won a lot of championships. And I got to believe that helped you in the race, too, because being a coach, that don't mean you didn't make some people mad. But let me tell you what I found out about coaches. I can be mad at you playing for you.
right.
I could say, man, this guy right here. And I played well, and coach could be. But when you get out of school, you look back at a coach, you go, man, thank God Rick Huckabee never let me. Rick Huckabee didn't believe. You ever heard the saying, practice makes perfect?
Oh, yeah.
Not with Huckabee. Perfect practice makes
Yeah.
perfect.
That's
And I learned that hard way. You do something, everybody's clapping. That ain't what I want.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Some of the best.
So that's what I'm saying. It's that had people when they voted for you and they went out there to say, man, I know this guy. Because you affected a lot of kids.
Just you do it long enough, and in different parts of the parish. There's a difference between a Struma High and Catholic High, but God blessed me to be able to fit in those spaces, because
Not everybody can do that.
Yeah, and what it is they're still kids regardless of what side of the track they're from or
Absolutely.
their status or whatever. They all need help, and so I always went where God wanted me to go. Mostly, sometimes I got in God's way and tried to do it my way.
Hey, I'm very good at that.
Yeah, and generally when I did that, it didn't work out well.
No, never does. Let me take a break. His name is Mayor Sid Edwards. Mason Bass joins us as well. We're going to take a break. 844-766-6607, Matthew James Tax Pro Hotline. We're in conjunction with our good friends at Talk 107.3 FM. More with Mayor Sid Edwards right when we get back. I don't know why I want to call him.
Look, it happens all the time.
That first thing came out. I wrote it down, so I wouldn't do that, but I probably will.
I'd rather stick intro than the other option.
What was up?
Like Kane's draft or telling the story. You're in the
We've been on this bayou for 7 generations.
He's Blake Miguez, and he's the only MAGA candidate for U.S. Senate.
My grandfather, he started a shipyard and built a simple 16-foot boat. And you know how he sold his boats? He looked in the person's eyes, he spoke to their heart, he shook their hand, and he gave them his word.
my
The reason why I'm running for
God, I
U.S.
wish I
Senate
had
is to
that on tape.
protect the American dream for our children, our grandchildren, because at the end of the day, the most selfless thing that we do is raise our children to be greater than us. All this amazing success that we're seeing from President Trump would not be possible if Bill Cassidy would have got his way and President Trump would have been impeached. God always blesses us with a new leader. He did that with our president, and look at the amazing work that he's doing. I can tell you that if someone gives me the honor of being their voice in D.C., I'm never going to let them down. People from little villages can go big places. I'll never forget who I am, where I come from, or the people on the bayou who sent me.
I'm Blake Miguez, candidate for United States Senate, and I approve this message. Paid for by Blake Miguez
Everybody's
for
calling you.
Louisiana.
Wildlife Land Group is
That's for so
United
long,
Country
that's the only name
office
I've
in
heard of.
Lafayette.
What years were
United
you
Country
with
has
them?
been in business for over 100 years, folks. Selling land is what they do best. Timberland, farmland, hunting, recreational land, commercial land, you get it. You see ranch properties, cattle ranch, they do it
You
all,
graduated.
folks.
Jay Davidson is the broker license in Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana.
Why don't you give them a call?
Call him.
337-345-1797. That's Wildlife Land Group, 337-345-1797.
Did you hear that? That's the sound of a propane burner starting off another epic tailgate. I'm Miss Louisiana Gabrielle McLeod with some safety messages for your next trip to the ballpark. First, check the tailgating rules at your venue. Most stadiums have strict rules about when, where, and how to tailgate safely. Propane is almost always welcomed outdoors, so make sure your tank is full or bring a spare. For more tips, visit LouisianaPropane.com.
Hello, Katie
Ron, I
Anna. Earl
don't-
Chasson here. Earl's Furniture is
John,
a
I
proud
don't hear
sponsor
that,
of the
okay.
Moon Griffon Show. Earl's has been servicing Acadiana for over 65 years. We accomplished this giving great prices, great selection, and great service.
hear you.
Earl's has the largest selection of lift chairs in the
Hello.
area. And most important, we have a repair shop
How
to
can you
service
not
any
hear
problems
anything?
long after the sale. We carry brands like Best, Mayo, Craftmaster, and Von Bassett, all made in the USA. Celebrating 65 years, one of Acadiana's oldest and largest furniture stores, Earl's Furniture, on the Abbeville-Erath Highway at Grosse Ile.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel. Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That fun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Mike's hot.
Talk.
Hi, y'all are. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you back with us. I lost the music. My bad. All right, we are here on the road in Baton Rouge in conjunction with Guarantee with Talk 107.3. We're honored to have Mayor Sid Edwards in the studio. His executive director, Mason Batts, joins us as well. Sid, let's do this. Let's talk about the 9 months you've been there. So what you came in, what you found, and then what do you think y'all are right now today? Because that's a lot in 9 months. That's probably had to happen.
I'll tell you, sometimes I'll forget what happened 2 days ago. It moves so fast. But one thing I learned, Moon, is the days move fast, but government moves slow. And as a coach, man, I want to accelerate. I want to go and get stuff done. And we have. We've moved the needle in many areas in Baton Rouge and in the entire parish. You know, my big deal was crime. And, man, I don't feel like I'm winning, you know, but the truth is our numbers are much better. Our BRPD, our sheriff's office, all the first responders are doing a great job. And when I say I don't feel like I'm winning, I know we'll never eradicate violent crime. I mean, it's human nature. But I used to count touchdowns. Now I count bodies.
Okay.
I lie awake at night. I wait for the phone to ring. Man, I want a safer parish, and I think the parish is a tad bit safer, but we're not there yet. I mean, our murder rate's down, our bullets are down. We don't have.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Because I'm listening to this all over the country and in our state. Specifically, what did y'all try to do different? Because to get them down, you had to at least do something.
Respect the police, empower the police to do their job, try to get them from being reactive to proactive, and that don't mean being bullies. That's not what I mean.
No. I know.
I mean, we have a ton of social programs in Baton Rouge, and I respect them all, and they're a big part of what we're trying to do. But we're 150 officers short in BRPD. We're 100 officers short in sheriff, and those men and women are putting it on the line every day, going out there and being visible.
But y'all was short before you came in.
That's correct.
Okay, and number two, crime was out of control before you came in.
Right.
That's a tough task. I know the president's sending National Guard. Is that something you'd consider if they call you and they say, hey, we'll give you the resource? Or would you rather, maybe you can do both, or would you rather be able to find money? Because it sounds like if you're short, it's always normally a money issue. We just can't afford to pay what we need to pay.
No, I would absolutely, if I had a choice, and it would be to have the funds to recruit and retain more law enforcement officers. I mean, that's what I would do. But if they call me and they say they're going to send me to guard to Baton Rouge, I'm gonna meet them at the airport. I'll be ready.
I got a feeling that And that's why I hear these stats sometimes. I got a feeling people know where most of the crime's coming out of.
Yeah.
So in other words, areas that you got to focus on, unfortunately. It's just the way it is. But crime, really, all the stuff you're talking about is happening in every neighborhood, every block, everywhere. But it's got to come out of something. And so that's where the extra police would be a lot better.
Yeah, there would be. And as far as the guard goes, in Baton Rouge, I wouldn't look. I'm not talking about bringing in the Russian army, okay? I'm talking about people to assist with car wrecks, minor situations, even blight. Bring in the guard to help me clean up some of this city. We're working on that every day. So I would take them. But, yeah, given a choice, I'd rather have a fully outfitted law enforcement unit as well as having the money to prop up some of our social programs all the way. Moon, it starts in pre-K.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that goes into it, but I can tell you we're attacking it full force.
Yeah, and I knew that was one of your big. Anything else you can think of? What about like budgets? How you doing with your budgets? How's that working out for you?
Well, Miss Monica Peening, Angie Savoy, my two ladies, two of my main ladies in finance, I guess we've been going on 7-8 weeks of them working daily on their budget, looking where we can streamline, where we can cut, where we can be more efficient. And they're going to present that to me probably I'm 10 days out from the budget being what they've discovered being presented to me for me to take the first look at it before October.
Yeah, Mason, you involved in that process?
I am. Obviously we inherited the budget of the previous administration.
Oh no, y'all got a tough situation. It's no doubt about it.
And the BRPD would face about a $9 million cut the year prior. So it's all looking at budget shortfalls, and we're going to get to that in a minute with some things we're going to do to address those things. But yeah, I mean we're on a shoestring budget, but we're going to make it work one way or another.
Yeah, and that's always tough when you come in, you inherit in a bad situation. But it's also so why people voted for you. They want to see some changes, and if they feel like you're making the changes, I don't think this is a 4-year deal for y'all. I think y'all have to be around a little while to make it happen.
Yeah,
and that's a boast to y'all. I think that's what has to happen.
Well, for me, what I'm telling my staff, I got a countdown.
Hold your thought. I want to do that. Yeah. We got another program to talk about as well.
Sure.
All right. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show with Mayor Sid Edwards. I got your attention. We'll get that. But I do want to come back to
It's tailgate time, so hustle to Service Chevrolet Cadillac and score big savings during our kickoff sales event. Tackle a great deal on all new 2025 Chevy Blazers in stock and take $5,000 off the MSRP. And during Truck Month, take $10,000 off the MSRP on all new 2025 Silverado 1500s in stock. Or take $11,000 off the MSRP with trade assistance. That's $11,000 off new Silverados. But
now, look, I may be wrong. I'm going
deals during our kickoff sales event, only at Acadiana's #1 Chevrolet dealership. Our family serving your family. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, your super Chevy dealer. 1212 Ambassador Caffrey near I-10. Stop by or log on at servicegm.com. Chevy, together let's drive. Silverado dealer discount $6,000. GM rebate $4,000. Trade assistance $1,000. Trade assistance must be 2011 or newer. Blazer dealer discount $4,000. GM rebate $1,000. In-stock units only, must finance through GMF. Offers expire on 9/30/25. Claims based on current GM data.
Have you recently cut a large check to Uncle Sam? How did that feel? If you're looking for a way to reduce your tax bills next year, especially if you're paying $100,000, $500,000, even more annually, listen closely. There are strategies used by the top 1% that can significantly reduce your tax burden. There are the same little-known provisions in the tax code that ultra-wealthy individuals and even members of Congress use. And Matthew
Hi, hello, welcome back. It is the Moon Griffon Show on the road in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, 107.3 FM. Guaranteed broadcasting. Very humble to be here. 844-766-6607. Matthew James, Tax Pro Hotline. Mayor Sear Edwards, a special guest, along with his executive director, Mr. Mason Batts. One of the things we were talking off the air was to go back on what you're trying to do in these first 9 months. And I know you got another initiative. We're going to get to that in a few minutes, too. One of the things you talked about was homelessness.
Right.
And how bad is that here? I mean, it's everywhere. I get it.
It's not great, but it's not as bad as in other areas. But I can tell you, if anything, Moon, we've moved the needle on the most, it's that. You know, we've done a lot of great things.
So tell us a little bit about what you do with people when you come across people that are homeless.
Yeah, Matthew Edwards is our homeless coordinator, and he's been working with Jessica Lewis, another lady, Trevor from the Grove, BRPD, Mayor Yates out in St. George, the sheriff's office, is they put a team together. Now, here's the deal about homelessness, Moon. It's not illegal to be homeless. It's illegal to be homeless and commit crime, just like me and you, okay, like anyone else. But a lot of our homeless are mentally ill and are addicted to drugs, a high percentage of them. So I always tell people, if you're homeless in Baton Rouge, you have the opportunity to be overweight, because we have over 40 organizations that feed and clothe and take care of them. So if anyone is holding a sign out there, a panhandler, need food, it's a lie. They need drugs. And we try to tell our citizens, don't give them money, because you're not helping them. You're hurting.
But people go by and they just, with their heart, they go, man, I give me 10, $5. That ought to help him. But that's not where the money's going.
That's not where it's going. And Baton Rouge has a big heart. I've done it too, so I'm not going to lie. I've done it too, gave them money.
Yeah.
But we've got a program now where we're partnering, and Matthew and them are building a team. And basically, if someone's panhandling, which is illegal, we ask them to leave. If they come back, they got a choice. We will take you to the Grove, clothe you, feed you, and put you in rehab and get you back up and running. I mean, for free. It's beautiful. If you don't want that, if you're not from here, we're going to ask you where you're from. We're going to call your family. We sent one home to Nashville, but it's on their own. We don't make them go. Hey, here's what you can do. You're not going to panhandle and do drugs in Baton Rouge. You're not going to do it no more. Bottom line. So you can go get treatment, or we could send you back to where you came from. We contact family.
Or the police department, when they go out, they see them, they pull over, or are you asking people to call? People will call and say, hey, I'm on so-and-so plank road, whatever.
Right.
You need to go check on this guy.
Well,
is that how they both have that?
Yeah, the police aren't doing that part. Okay, it's teams. It's we have some law officers that'll go and do it, and some of these folks, I mean, some of them got extensive criminal records. Yep. Some don't. Here's the people we want to help: the ones who are truly just down on their luck, and they're out there scuffling. But we have the resources in Baton Rouge to do that without them asking for money on the corner. So I don't want it to make it feel like we're these, this Gestapo just.
No, but I take it once. I'm just taking it once you go to one of these facilities. I'm taking it that they not only are they trying to help them, but they're probably trying to find out who they are, who's your family, where you're from, because I'm sure one of the things you got to do is reach out. And I'm sure some families have unfortunately said, "I'm had enough with them. We've done everything."
Right.
I mean, I know you got that. It's just unfortunate.
Yeah, but they're going to have to panhandle if they don't want help. If they don't want the treatment, we can't. They're free. They do what they want.
Well, you can't help people that don't want to help themselves.
Yeah,
Let's be blunt. You can't.
Yeah, but if they don't want the help, they need to get the hell on out of Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
We're gonna help them. Okay, we got all the resources, but you're not going to stay here and do those things.
No, I think what you have here is what everybody's been saying for a long time. These folks need tough love. I mean, Mason, you're talking about going to lunch yesterday and seeing whatever you saw. I mean, it's got to be some tough love with these. Matter of fact, all of them probably need tough love. I know my daddy used to tear my heart up when I needed tough love.
That's right. And Mayor, you haven't yet mentioned the third option, but you did mention that some of these folks have criminal records. So I want you to talk a little bit about what happens if they don't want treatment and they don't want to recover, or if they don't want to go back home. What's option number 3?
Oh, that's parish prison. I mean, if they, if you got a criminal and you're going to not accept our help, because we're here to do God's work, but you're going to get locked up. If you're out there doing criminal acts, and drugs. And Jennifer Richards will keep Tiger Town beautiful. You go on the interstate, they'll clean a place up. And Moon, they come out with a garbage bag full of needles from under the interstate.
Ain't dangerous enough for you?
Shoot. So we're here. We're here to help first. That's the first thing, every option.
Okay, on jump gears with you, and this might be a curveball, but I believe you can handle it. You know all about curveballs and bad plays.
Yeah.
How is the relationship? Because I am curious. This is just something that hit me. How's the relationship with y'all and St. George forming this city? I know there was some problems before you got there. If I may ask you that, you don't have to go into much detail, because they were. I know that those people were real happy that when you won.
Right.
They feel like they have somebody they can work with. And so, how is that relationship? Without going into any big details, how's the relationship?
I think it's outstanding. I mean, along the way, when you look at all the municipalities, Baker, Zachary, Central, now St. George, they all have their own mayor. They all have their own council. I am the mayor president, but I am very pleased. I think they have outstanding leadership, and I'm proud of them. And being the mayor president of the whole parish, I want all our entities to thrive and just grow and be great. So they're going to move.
By the way, I
quick.
hadn't heard anything bad.
Yeah, no.
I just ain't a question because I'm
Yeah.
hearing the other side. It just came to hit me. You know what? I knew there was a big problem, had some money problems and all that. And I thought, I wonder how y'all working out. And I figured you working fine with them.
Yeah,
but I know there was some issues, and I just want to know if some of those issues are being dealt with behind the scenes to make sure everybody wins. How about that?
Yeah, we've signed some early agreements already. And here again, you got to remember, no matter what the constituents are or whatever, sometimes we may not agree. But I can tell you that I think they got a heck of a mayor and a heck of a council over there, and they're about to do great.
The whole problem in this political world we live in now, and it's way too much politics, in my opinion. You're going, well, what you going to do for a show? I'll go back to sports, which I always want to do.
Right.
I never had a problem disagreeing with somebody if someone disagreeing with me. I don't dislike you.
That's right.
You disagree with me. Because I know a lot of people disagree with me.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that. Good for you. You just disagree. And I said, one day I'm going to get you on my side. But the point being is, it used to be you could disagree and still smile.
No.
They'll laugh. They'll be friends. They'll go eat. That went out the door a long time ago.
That's what I think one of the more important things on the St. George thing is they worked for years and years just trying to get an intergovernmental agreement. Just to say, let's work together. And look, these are people who are neighbors, that could throw a rock from one town to another. And when we came into office, one of the things the mayor tasked us on the staff with was, let's get together, let's find out what we're going to do to move the ball forward. And so very quickly,
there was a lot of riprap from the mayor before you and things that went. That's the only reason I brought it up. And I thought, man, I hope this situation, because I think they were very happy when Sid came in for one reason. Okay, they thought Sid would at least sit down and talk to him, and they could be honest and cross the table and work that. That's, by the way, this is a guy outside looking in, but that's what I thought would be a good combination.
That's right. And so it took us as long as March, and we had it done. We passed it through our council. I think it was unanimously.
It was.
I think it passed unanimously in St. George, and been working together ever since.
That's good. And like you said, and Sid being the mayor president, and I was just calling you mayor, but mayor president with the whole parish. Yeah. You named the other ones too. You got to work with all those folks.
That's right. And we got good folks. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, it's no doubt. All right, we're going to take a break. When we get back, y'all have I'm going to hold you one more. Y'all have some kind of initiative y'all working on.
Oh, it's big. It's big, Moon.
I know. I'm going to let y'all do the talking. I want to do the listening on this. All righty, folks, we got to take a break. We'll be back more with the Moon Griffon Show right after this. Don't go nowhere. Yeah, let's Hi, hello. Welcome back. It is the Moon Griffon Show, 107.3 FM. Our good friends at Talk 107.3 Guarantee. That's what we broadcast. Matthew James Tax Pro Hotline. You can always email me, moon@moongriffon.com. By the way, Steve Malloy, junkscience.com will join us at 10. And Liz Merle, and I can't wait to see Liz. I got a lot of questions for her, but she's usually pretty good at answering them. She's going to join us at 10:30, dealing with the redistricting and the change the state made. And I didn't even know that was legal to do that, but she can explain it when she gets here. She's a lot smarter than me. Bats is over there going, well, that don't take much. You see me play, so you know I went the wrong way half the time, so you understand that as well. Anyway, Parish Mayor President said that wasn't, of course, we got Mason Bats with us as well. So y'all got a new initiative, Thrive EBR. I'm going to start with you. Tell us what that is.
All right, Moon. So essentially what Thrive is, we talked a little bit earlier about budgets and that kind of thing. Thrive is essentially a plan that we're using to balance our budget here in Baton Rouge. And we're doing that by doing a couple things. The first thing we're doing is we're cutting our budget, cutting about $21 million out of our budget, about $16 million from some insurance cuts we've made, and about $5.5 million from renegotiating some bond debt down to a lower interest rate. So that's the first part. The second part is by getting some new revenue into the city, and we're doing that by not raising taxes. The Thrive Plan, what it does is it's a partnership between the city, the parish, the library system, the Council on Aging, and Mosquito Control, which are all independent agencies. And we're going to them, and they've agreed to give up some of their extra revenue, and we're going to use that money to pay down about $52.4 million worth of parish-wide debt that we have. And then the money we'll save from the high interest on that debt, combined with our cutting, is how we're going to balance a budget in 2026 and 2027. This is not a one-year fix. This is a permanent solution to a problem.
This is I want people to know it's not a tax increase. What you're doing is you're taking the pie and you're going to split it a little differently. Some of the agencies have decided they can use a little less, and you're going to take whatever the additional to go towards your debt and future stuff.
That's exactly right, man.
Okay, so let me ask you a question, Mayor. How hard is it to sell a public on a plan like this?
It's very difficult.
Okay, why is this there? What's stopping you, the average person, on these renewals? Now, there have been some that have been beat that it felt like things were misdone, but y'all are a totally new entity coming in. Why? Who's trying to stop this?
Well, people are fatigued. People are tired. And I think if you look at the past, and I fully understand it, you look at the past for all the money that's been put in here and the federal money and everything, some people feel, what have we gotten for what we paid? What have we gotten? Some of the roads are full of potholes. You know, the crime's been high. We talked about the homelessness. We talked blight. So people feel that way. Not that it's anybody's fault one way or the other. So we have to convince people. Got to give us. They got to give me the chance with this. I need them.
But you got, and I agree with everything you said. But you going and your staff and the people around you going to have to go out and really sell this because of what you said. People are going, I'm tired of fighting. It never changes.
Yeah.
And so whoever comes in, because whoever else came in before you and before them, they just don't feel like no matter who we put in there, nothing changes.
Yeah.
And that's the I talk to people like that all the day. I'm one of them sometimes. I'll tell you right now. I go, okay, so we got somebody new, big deal. What's going to change? And I get that, but how do you sell it then? How do you go in and convince people this is the right thing?
Well, we got, number one, they got to know exactly what it is, like what Mason just did. They got to know the facts. But Moon, I ain't convinced. I ain't about to. Is there such a word in politics as trust me? Because here's the deal. I'm asking people to trust me. This is a different dog than they've seen.
I'm not arguing.
Yeah, I mean, and the deal is belief without evidence. I'm asking people to have faith I'm going to do it right. Now, the people who know me will go vote yes. If whoever knows me is an automatic yes. Even if they completely just say they were against it, they would vote yes because they know I'm going to do right with the money and do right by the people.
How much, can I ask you, how much money are you talking about on the 3 renewals per year? You got that, Mason?
For the whole entities?
Yeah, for everything. Forget where it's going. Just all 3 of them. How much money are you talking?
Well, like the library's budget, it would be reduced down to about $44 million a year. Council on Aging, a little less than $10 million a year. Mosquito Control, about $12 million a year. And then us paying down our debt and cutting.
Let me ask this question then. It's to renew it, and it's to renew it to respend it, or is it just to renew it? If you don't pass it, does everything just stay the same?
It's to renew and rededicate. So,
Okay, so it's got to be renewed. You have no money coming.
That's right.
Oh, from those entities.
That's right.
Okay, that's what I was asking. It's a combination of both.
Yes.
Renew and rededicate, but the renew is the most important. The rededicate takes the voters. It takes the voter to voters to rededicate that money.
That's correct.
Okay. Yeah, I would think so. If you had the voters voted in for a certain reason,
right?
They got to revoke it.
That's right.
Okay,
and
that
that's
makes
one
sense.
of the things that's more difficult to explain to the voters is there's really two things happening here. You're renewing a millage at a lower rate for that entity, but it's the same rate because the rest of that's going to be rededicated to allow us to pay off some debt.
So let me ask you a question, guys. Who do y'all have to convince? And you say, well, Moon, the voters. That's fine. But is there a group of voters? I'm not talking about black and white. Nothing to do with that. Is there a group of voters out there that you have to go out there and really convince that this is a good thing?
I think, Mason, and you can agree with me, that there's some apathy.
He better. He works for you.
Yeah, there's some apathy amongst voters. Here's the deal. November 15th, LSU plays Arkansas. Southern University got a home game. They both at home. What we're going to say, Mason, a projected 20%, 23% turnout. So the people who are going to show up to vote, and who are they? Okay?
Well, now, in all fairness, though, Sid, you do have a couple weeks because you got early voting the way it's set up. So you got some people can go early. And you're gonna have to get people out on early vote to get.
It's gonna be huge.
Yeah, and but you touched upon something else, which is apathy.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and I'm not talking about Baton Rouge. This goes around the state and the country. Mm-hmm. The apathy of people wanting something to be different, and it not happening.
Well,
that's where the apathy people go. I ain't going to vote.
Here's the deal. You got to tell your narrative, right? We've been there 9 months. It's not enough sample size. We're down.
I agree.
I got all. This is my opinion, and this ain't a knock on nobody, but Baton Rouge is better right now than it was 9 months ago. I know that, and that's not just because of Sid Edwards. I think we're in a better spot, and if our citizens ride around, open your eyes and look around. There's a different vibe in Baton Rouge right now. That don't mean there aren't any naysayers, but there's a different vibe and already a little different look. So
you know it helps you a little bit too.
What's that?
LSU's football team's really good.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, and we need.
I got to throw that in there because when things are happening good, but when the Tigers are winning, it makes everything that much better.
You know, it's true. It's
by
true.
the way, I know, but that was just 2 weeks. You're talking about 9 months. It was just a little fun, a little bit of fun.
Yeah,
but it is
no
true.
doubt.
It is true when the Tigers, and really for the state, but when they hear everybody. I mean, look, I'm in the building over here that is really tied to LSU. The station tied to LSU. So I can feel a vibe just walking in here. I just can. But going back to what y'all have done in 9 months, and you're going back to when it all started, I'm not arguing with you. And what I hear, because I am in Baton Rouge a lot more than I was, and I'm coming almost weekly, I hear the same vibes that you're talking about from people that really believe there's a change coming and that a change is already here. And all the stuff you're talking about doing, it takes a long time.
It does.
You inherited hell. And they get mad at me. I don't care. You inherited hell somewhat, and that everything was chaotic and all that stuff. It's hard to get all that back and put back in place in the direction you want it to go.
Yeah, but we're working, and we're gonna get it done.
It's good to see you, man. Do you have time to even keep up with sports besides the Tigers?
Not as much.
I bet you can't keep up with the high school hardly at all.
Not as much. I blocked my schedule to go see some high school games.
You won how many state championships in football?
2 in football.
Did you win in basketball?
Yeah, won 1 in basketball.
All that was redemptress?
That was all that redemptress.
He won 1 in basketball and football in the same year.
Oh, no, he did.
Yeah.
He had to become the football coach, and he was the basketball coach.
Yeah.
But he was at redemptress. Well, if he would have had me, he probably wouldn't have won 2.
We'd have repeated.
Nah, thanks.
Hey,
Thank you,
my
sir.
honor to be here. We'll be back soon.
We'll do it again. God bless you.
God bless
both
you.
of y'all. All right, folks, quick break. When we get back, Steve Malloy, the junk science guy. We'll be right back. All right, guys, I hope that went like you Hi, hello. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607 is the number. Let me tell you what, folks. It's tough when you're on the road sometime because you're trying to do stuff. Let's see. Let me see. All right. We're good to go. All right. We're supposed to have Steve Malloy. Walker said if he calls, he's scheduled for 10:06 today. Is that what time it is? Okay. I hope Malloy didn't look at it and go, it's 11 o'clock Central. It's 11 o'clock. He may be thinking 11 o'clock Eastern, but that's fine. But I do have Liz Murrow's going to join us with the AG. And she's got some questions for Liz. Liz is actually, I tell people a lot, Liz has actually taught me a lot about redistricting. A lot of my opinions are formed off what Liz has taught me. I say everything, but some of the things on this redistricting, dealing with Cleo and the Cleo fight, and us trying to have another congressman. Still concerned about this special session in October, November, when we might not even have a ruling yet. But I do want to ask her about some of the questions. And she'll explain. She's pretty good at explaining stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. Like I said, I thought we had Steve Malloy lined up for 10:06 Central, but apparently if he's thinking 11 o'clock, he ain't going to make it today. 844-766-6607 is the number if you'd like to be part of the program. It is the Matthew James Tax Pro Hotline. I'm not going to do this. I got some. By the way, Lafayette once again named America's happiest city. See, John, I moved there and they began to name happiest city twice.
Oh,
yeah,
there you go. That's
when I moved there in 2014, they were named the happiest city. Just letting you know that. Okay.
And before that,
and I don't know if Monroe was named the unhappiest city when I left.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was going. That's what I was going to ask.
I thought it would have been flipped.
Right.
Monroe would have been the happiest city because I was leaving, and Lafayette would have been the unhappiest city. But anyway, once again, named America's happiest city. Great place to live. Been there for 11 years. What makes it over there is the people. Anyway, but Wallet Hub made Louisiana is the most unhappy state. Second most unhappy. Now, I'm gonna take a little bit. I would punch them in the mouth on that ranking. But you gotta look at the criteria that they use. And if you look at the criteria, we ranked in the happiest cities, we ranked 49th, so we ranked second unhappiest. West Virginia was ranked unhappiest. Now, follow me a little bit. So when somebody says we're the happiest or we're the best or we're the worst, you like to look at the criteria. They make judgments on economics and all that stuff. So I like to look at the total criteria. So studies found that good economics, emotional, physical, and social health are important for a fulfilled life. And I looked at economics. Economics affects emotional, physical, and social health. You got to have a job. You got to be able to work. People, that's why I was so cut off by this Bell Edwards character. And that to me is almost a cartoon character. Is his biggest movement was to raise minimum wage, expand Medicaid, and raise taxes. Now, I got to tell you, when Edwards was here, nobody was more critical than Bell, but nobody was more critical than Jindal. Some people would say I'm the most critical of all of them, and that's fine, but rightfully so. But when Edwards came in, we had 8 years, and he backed in. Oh, there's a report on him running again. Oh, I hope he runs. If anything could happen, I hope Edwards would run the Senate. Cannot wait for him to explain his vote on cutting the sex organs off of 10-year-olds. That's going to be a great argument for him to make. I mean, I would love to see Bellboy run. I think nobody's sending Edwards to go hurt Trump. He ain't going to raise no money with the leftists anyway if he's going to go vote for the leftists. Anyway, I got that. I'll get to that maybe as a program. So I'm looking at the Bell Edwards, and he never had a grip for economics, which affects people emotionally. Lose your job, if you know what I mean. Don't have a job. Can't make enough money to make ends meet. That's emotional, and that hurts your physical. some of the other stuff that Wallet Hub analyzed was depression rates. The share of adults who feel productive, income growth, and unemployment rates, all dealing with economics. That's why I've been hollering from the rooftop for 32 years now, in my 33rd year. However, what was important was that we got the economics right. Now, I'll be honest with you, the most important thing is you walk with Jesus Christ. And that is just, you can do anything else you want to do, by far the most important. By far, not even close. But when you look at us as a unit, the next thing is going to be the economic part, because people have to eat, drink, and they got to have a house to live, a home to live. They got to have clothes on the back, all things the Lord provides for you. But if you set up a system where nobody cares about that, then it's kind of tough. And the thing about it, people need to go do it for themselves. When Bell Edwards came through, it was let the state and the government and the grants and all that stuff work to do this for us. And that never works. Go to any cities, go to any country where everything is government. Government's going to do for you. Government's going to take care of you. Government's going to fix it. Government, and you fail. So when I look at the unhappy, and it starts with good economics and start talking about the other things that they worked on, well, yeah, we're going to be at the bottom. Louisiana ranked number 49 for emotional and physical well-being, number 49 for work environment. So listen, I don't know about y'all, but since I had my first job, that was a prideful thing in that. Being able to go work, make a living. You remember how when you were at home, if you had a good home, and, we had a life in a good home and things of that nature, even with a good home, you were ready to move out. One day came, you were ready to go. What was one of the biggest things you had to do to leave? You better have a job. And when you were in college, you might not have to have a job, but when you left to go on your own, you better have some money, unless you came from a family that was filthy rich and they took care of you. That is not normal. I say there's nothing wrong with that, but you having that job mentally, that you felt like you were accomplishing something. You felt good about yourself. That's why jobs and economics mean a lot. The Bible talks about money and jobs and working all the time. And that's what we need. But what did Bell Edwards want? A minimum wage. Well, who wants to make minimum wage? I've never wanted to make minimum wage. There's never been a time I said, boy, if I can make minimum wage. And then we started all this Medicaid expansion. Dependency on the government to make sure you have some kind of health care. And Bell Edwards thought that was great, too. So we expanded Medicaid. We can't afford none of it. So now somebody that may be working, not thriving to be the best they can be on Medicaid, they're supposed to say, whoa, man, that's what I'm happy for. How many, John, you know of any college graduates that jumped up and down and said, boy, when I get out of school, I'm looking for a minimum wage job and get on Medicaid?
Right, yeah, exactly.
You ever met anybody like that?
No.
That came out of school or college and that were educated going?
No one I know.
Yeah. I wonder why people left this state. They should have stayed. We didn't have, actually the minimum wage never went up, but COVID took care of that. I think our minimum wage is like $7.95. I don't know if anybody making less than probably $10, $12 an hour. Unless you work for me, Paul Walker. I'm just telling you. It's
$7.25.
Huh?
$7.25.
$7.25. What did I say? $7.95.
Something like that. Yeah.
You know anybody making $7.25? I don't either. But the governor made that a see. He didn't make economics and jobs and businesses a priority. Now, and credit to Jeff Landry, the governor has tried to do something about it, doing something about it, working to do something about it. Not Bell. 8 years, never cared about a job for anybody. He cared about federal money, grants, and being reelected. He backed in twice. Hurricanes, federal money, that's all he worried about. So when I look at this unhappy, this is coming off of 8 years of Bell Edwards. That's why people are unhappy. He didn't do anything about job situation. You know? Now, one of the things they had in here, additionally, Louisiana ranked among states with the lowest adequate sleep rate. Most work hours, highest divorce rate, as well as among the least safe states. You know, one of the other ones, that I'm trying to figure this one out. Now, I want y'all to follow me on this. Lowest sports participation rate. In Louisiana? I don't know many people who don't play sports. Lowest sports participation rate? Anyway, they had happiest Hawaii, Maryland, Nebraska, New Jersey, Connecticut, Utah, California. Who's happy in California? I'm miserable for the people in California. They're probably so miserable. New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Idaho. And then a bunch of the southern states fall kind of in the middle row. Let's see. Florida, 14th. Georgia, 19th. South Carolina, 25th. North Carolina, 28th. Then at the bottom, West Virginia, Louisiana, Arkansas, Alabama, Alaska, Tennessee, New Mexico, Kentucky, Mississippi. So a lot of the southern states in the top 10 in the bottom of the, and I would say the reason why I came by into that, I think people in the South are the happiest people in the world. I always have. The South is where people have fun. The South is where we come to have fun at work. Anyway, all right, Walker, I know we got to take another break. 844-766-6607, Matthew James Tax Pro Hotline, that and more. And Liz Merle coming out of the bottom of the hour. Looking forward to it. I'm really gonna waste most of this Coke. I need the caffeine. Huh? It's a spiritual deal, John, everywhere. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you back with us. 844-766-6607. Matthew James Tax Pro Hotline. Hey, folks, if you're buying a vehicle, listen to me. Go to servicegm.com, servicegm.com. Service Chevrolet Cadillac. I'm just telling you, if you go to the website, it's one of the baddest dude websites I've ever been on because I find they answer every question you need. And they got big specials they right there on the website. You can find out what kind of deal you can get today. 1212 Ambassador in Lafayette. People know what they're doing. This is a big, big place. The people at Service Chevrolet Cadillac have been doing this for over 50 years. You don't stay in business with all the changes that's been made for 50-plus years. Not only in the last 50 years have they been in business, plus they've grown. I mean, I didn't realize they had their own record service. Next time I have a problem and need a record, I'm going to call Service Chevrolet Cadillac. All the custom stuff that you like to put on your vehicles, they do all that. You didn't have to buy the vehicle from them. You can go check that out as well. People that have big businesses and they're looking for a lot of different vehicles, they take care of those people as well. There's not really anything in the vehicle business, truck, car business, they don't do. If you call them and they don't do it, I'm going to be shocked. But if you want to make a deal with professionals and people that know what they're doing, and my bride will tell you, she's bought several vehicles. She said it's the best experience she's ever had. And she told me that. And she took care of what car she wanted and everything. I really didn't have to do a lot. I had to cut a check. But other than that, John, I didn't have to do anything. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, it's big, it knows what it's doing, and they want to service you and let them take care of you. Go check them out. ServiceGM.com, ServiceGM.com. I'm just telling you, you're not going to find better people in the business that know what they're doing. Real quick, I read another article. Cassidy is sinking. Louisiana risks becoming the next Nebraska. Now, I don't necessarily agree with this, all this assessment, but I do agree with this one. Senator Cassidy is collapsing with the very voter who should be the foundation. It's collapsing, and it's collapsed by what he did and lack of responsibility of coming forward. He caused his own collapse. The guy says, this isn't an idle speculation, right there in the numbers. That's what I'm telling you. I've been seeing a lot of polls. And if the GOP refuses to act, Louisiana could become the next Nebraska, a deep red state suddenly in play for the Democrats. And they mentioned Edwards. I'll get to that in a second. The latest polling is brutal. 22% of Republican primary voters said Cassidy deserves another term. 2/3 say his time is over. Folks, those numbers aren't going to change with money. I didn't put him there. He put himself there. Okay? They said in the full ballot, head-to-head, Cassidy barely makes it out of the 20s. When voters are reminded of his impeachment vote against Trump, his support craters into the low teens. I've seen these numbers. This is the party where 61% of Republican primary voters identified as Trump Republicans. Folks, that ain't changing. There's nothing he can do about it. And he said, with closed primaries, Cassidy had no one to call. Now, what happened in Nebraska? A Democrat made it close. So the guy goes on, and this is where, let's see, Paul Higginbotham, whatever his name is. At townhall.com is wrong. He's worried about Bill Edwards coming on and Bill Edwards being a conservative Democrat. I hope, I'll say it again, I'll say it loud. I hope Bill Edwards wins. He ain't backing in this one, folks. The state of Louisiana is not sitting at all, sending a liberal, leftist, lunatic Democrat who hurt our state. The people and the voters don't send him. They're not sending him. How's he going to defend wanting to cut the private parts off of 10-year-olds? How's he going to defend wanting boys and girls bathrooms? How's he going to defend the out-migration and lack of jobs? How's he going to defend the Green New Deal? It's not going to become Nebraska. Edwards is looking. I don't think Edwards is looking at this at all. Bill Edwards will get bombed. I don't care who he runs again on the Republican side. This ain't. You don't have a situation where J. Darden, the knife stabber, and the dipstick, Angel, and what Eddie Rispone did last time. That's not the situation yet. Now, I don't believe Republicans. Well, let me back up. The problem is we got Republicans. That's the problem. They can screw up a ham sandwich. It don't take them long. I get that. But it won't be because they got a good candidate in Billboard. That ain't happening. But if it does, I hope he runs. I hope he runs. God, I hope he runs. And then Cassidy becomes the dark horse. Will Cassidy do whatever he can to get back at the Republicans for not voting him in? That's the key. All right. Hopefully, Attorney General Liz Murrow will be in here in a few minutes, and we'll go from there. Let's take a break. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show. back. It is How Y'all Are. Welcome back, Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you. I'm waiting for Liz. I ain't heard from Liz. And that would be 2 guests in a row. Man, I tell you what, how can you do a program? Good program host is always well prepared. That's a shame I'm not a good host, John. I'm going to interview you.
Oh, man. Here we
interview
go.
you and Walker.
Here
Get
we
to
go.
the younger side of life, man. 844-766-6607, Matthew James Tax Pro Hotline. I'm shocked because Liz said she'd be. I'm still expecting to come. We'll see. Talk radio, our friends at Talk 107.3 FM, and I appreciate them putting up with us. Hey, folks, you missed the big sale. Oh, now, see, this is why I hate text messages. Okay. No, I'm in Mississippi. I said next week. Okay. All right, Walker, nobody's calling. Man, I'm doing all this stuff, popping up this. But like I said, I'm ready. Host or not. All right, Liz in next week. The way I read it, she was walking in here today. So we're ready to go. It's okay, John. It's okay. Now we're going to interview you.
All right. I'm ready. I've been waiting for this moment to be interviewed on the Moon Griffon Show. Here we go.
You, man, I bet you
man.
are. And let me go. I'm going to go. I got some other stuff I want to cover anyway. So we're good. The last thing on this Cassidy deal, this guy makes. Let me get to the other point. Then I wasn't going to get to it, but I will real quick. Here's the danger. Even in the survey of Republican primary voters for former Governor Bill Edwards registers at 13% with more than 40% undecided. 13 points. Oh, my God, he's going to whip everybody. Think about this among Republicans. Edwards already showing life. 13% of Republicans. That's about right. Fake Republicans that they are. Edwards has beaten Republicans statewide before. And you see, they don't go into detail. How did he win those elections? He backed in twice. He had Republicans that were bashing. This is a different run. The state of Louisiana didn't even send Mary Landrieu back. They're not sending a Democrat to be a United States Senator to go with Trump, to vote with Chuck Schumer, and to vote with Nancy Pelosi, and to vote with Hakeem Jeffries and Barack Obama. They not. We have so much more on him now. Whoever the Republican sends out is going to beat. I wish Edwards would run. He didn't win statewide twice. He backed in. I ought to write the book. Everybody got this thing really screwed up. Edwards has beaten Republicans statewide before twice. Who did he beat? He didn't beat him. David Vitter had baggage, and Jay Darden and Scott Angel put the knife in him. The next time he ran, he beat Eddie Risponi. Now, Eddie never ran for office. Now, Eddie's got a lot of money and plays behind the scene. I get that. But Eddie beat up Doc Abraham in the 321,000 votes he had. Most of them either didn't go vote. Some of them actually voted for Edwards. That's how he won. He backed in. But see, a guy like this guy don't understand that. Edwards could win if he backs in again. I didn't mean to rhyme there, but that's it. His brand himself is a pragmatic Democrat who speaks the language of faith, family, and fiscal restraint while keeping his base energized. Yeah, fiscal restraint, lie. He built his whole campaign was based on lies. Now he's into the Green New Deal. Telling y'all he's making so much money now, he ain't running for Senate. After a divided GOP could once again present himself as a safer choice. Edwards ain't safe to go vote to get penises cut off of 10-year-olds? Really? Before somebody jumps up and says, boy, you ought to quit saying it, that's what he did. The legislature went to a veto session and override him to stop operations of kids under 18 in this state for sexual operation. That's exactly what Bill Edwards did. He's got to run on that now. He's got an 8-year history. They had to override a veto when they voted to not let boys go in girls' bathrooms, and Edwards vetoed that. They had to override that veto. We had more out-migration and business problems and more taxes raised than anybody. People ain't sending him there. This is a different, listen, I've watched this. There's a different vote for statewide than it for a governor or something like that than it is for a United States senator. But nobody's going to send somebody else. It's bad enough what Cassidy probably would do. Nobody's going to send Bill Edwards to go vote against any good agenda, and that's what he would do because he would have to line up with Chuck Schumer. How you think he's going to raise his money besides the crazy trial lawyers here that's on TV? How he's going to raise his money? Hope Digger and Get It Done and those guys, I hope they give a lot of money for Edwards so he can take his agenda to Washington, which is no different than Chuck Schumer. I'm telling y'all, this guy's no different than Chuck. He's some kind of pragmatic Democrat. He never has been. Well, he's pro-life. Ask him this question. Ask him one question. Do you believe a woman should have a right to choose? Well, that's a trick question. He's an attorney. Oh, that's a trick question. No. Do you believe a woman should have a right to choose? You're pro-life. See, Democrats, you can lie, though. You're going to give somebody, this guy's going to vote with Chucky Schumer and the Coons fella. Louisiana, you talk about embarrasses. God have mercy. The guy goes on to say Cassidy's not going to recover. His vote to impeach Trump is not going away. Republicans want to hold a seat. They need a candidate that reflects Louisiana values. Pro-energy. He's not going to be pro-energy. He's not pro-Second Amendment. Go look at the bills. You realize he tried to veto every pro-Second Amendment bill. He got Shake Snyder and what was his name? Blank Page Cortez. He got those guys to beat every one of those bills and they didn't even vote on them. This guy goes to say every day wasted pretending Cassidy can survive as another day. John Bel Edwards edges closer to making this race competitive. Cassidy can't survive. Nobody believes Cassidy's going back except Bill. I'm the least one I'm worried about is Bill. Somebody may say, well, man, you said he could never win again. I did. I was on record. And why was I on record to say that it's no way Edwards can win again? Because I didn't think, I'm going to be blunt. Some people don't like it, but I didn't think Republicans, okay, and the Republican leaders were that stupid to fall for it again. And this is when, and I like Eddie Rispone. Eddie Rispone fell for it. Eddie Rispone, let me tell you what I heard, because I knew people in Edwards camp. You know when they felt like they had life and they didn't think they could win re-election? And I'm going to tell you where they found out they had life. They said they had life when Eddie Rispone started bombing the hell out of Ralph Abraham. They thought, oh, this is great. Now we can play Republican commercials beating up a Republican. That's when they knew this. We got life again. They won by 40,000 votes. Edwards won by 40,000 votes. He was so disliked. He won by 40,000 votes with a low turnout. And Edwards and Eddie Rispone happened to run away 80% of Doc Abraham's vote. Folks, there were people that voted for Edwards and didn't go vote. They were so mad at him. Remember, Doc got, I think it's 321,000 votes, and you didn't run a man, a good man, ran him in the ground, lying about airplanes and lying about that. And they just used, when Eddie ran, Edwards said, we can win this now. They didn't think they were going to win. Even Trump coming in couldn't put him over the top because of the hate of Eddie by the Abraham people. They just had enough of it, and they didn't go vote, and they didn't care. That's how Bill Edwards won. The first time, it was because they made him hate Vitter for something that happened 15 years ago. What Jay Darden and Angel did, who really, Jay Darden was always a Democrat. He was not Darden, but Scott Angel, the dipstick, was always a Democrat. Came a Johnny-come-lately Republican. And Jay was always moderate left. The people that like him are the media and the people that are on the left. They pounded Vitter. People bought into it. Edwards walked in. They thought, oh, we just got a conservative Democrat. He wasn't even close. He wasn't even close. So let him run. I will say this. There's a percentage of me Makes me scared to say that because if I know anything about Republicans, they can screw it up. They are very good at screwing it up. Edwards got the black votes, 110,000 votes in New Orleans and won by 40,000. He got beat in the rest of the state by 60,000. He'll get beat. As long as there's not another Republican to come along and snatch defeat from victory. The dude can't win. All right, we got to take a break. 844-766-6607. Matthew James Tax Pro Hotline. We'll take a break. Be right back. Hi, hello. Welcome back. It is the Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Matthew James Tax Pro Hotline. I want to thank our friends at Guarantee Broadcasting, of course, as always, for stepping up and allowing us to use their studio. Talk 107.3 Guarantee, which is really a lot of growth here in the Baton Rouge area. And we love coming. It's kind of coming home for me because I went to school here, grew up in Plaquemine. So it's always fun, get to meet new people, people that I ain't seen in a while. Sid and I were at Redemptor's at the same time. And Sid said he was eating popcorn watching me play ball. As far as me being a stud, he talked about, that's the over-exaggeration by a coach. What you laughing at, John?
Well, no, I was laughing with you, right? Right? That's what we're doing, right?
That's an over-exaggeration of a coach, man. That's all that is.
Man.
It was great when I was healthy. When the knees go, when the knees go, the career took a big slam after my junior year. But, hey, it got a free education out of my abilities. How about that? Nothing else. It was all good. So I noticed that, and Hayride has a great piece on this too. Lawsuits increasing in energy, plastics, chemical manufacturing. They won't stop, folks. All the things that made this country better is what's trying to be destroyed by the left. Louisiana industrial giants, ports, local governments are facing increasingly coordinated barrage of lawsuits from small but determined groups. From St. James to Cameron Parish, environmental nutted up justice organization have dragged parish commission, global corporation, state agency into court, all on money. Of course, they throw in race and all that stuff in there as well to kind of mix in the mix. And so these companies come along, people go to work, people retire on them. It's things that we need for the whole country and the whole world to survive. And so we go sue them, just like Cormouches did with the legacy lawsuits and the coastal lawsuits, and Bill Edwards said, if y'all don't sue them, we will. The governor, they all after these suits, and all it does is hurt the reputation of Louisiana. It hurts our state when these people come out. These industries are important to the world, and yet constant lawsuits here. So somebody asked me, by the way, I did a little checking around. I knew I was right on this, but it keeps getting confirmed to me. I tell y'all what we're going to see. Remember the brouhaha about insurance last session, which was this past spring. We talked about tort reform, and they had a ton of bills that were passed out of the House, and the Senate shot down a lot of them. Emily Chenever's bill, probably the most important one to get out. But other than that, most of the other bills are pretty much watered-down versions of what we should do. Now, I said all that to say this. There's a big push by the leaders. No more tort reform. No more. Now, I know and you know our insurance rates have not gone down like they need to. They're not competitive. And they're probably going to start back up soon again. And I told y'all, we're talking to these other states. And talking to these other states that have had tort reform and changes in the legal system, where these TV trial lawyers are making a killing. And we've created a culture here. Sue for everything. Look at it. Sue chemical plants. Sue energy. Sue plastics. Sue oil and gas. Sue everybody. Getting a wreck, it's a company, sue them. You find out somebody got an umbrella policy protecting their family, we're going to sue them and get even more money. Even if you caused the wreck and didn't have insurance, you sue. That's the culture we created here for the last 20, 25 years. And to get out of that, it's going to take another 5, 10, 15, 20 years. If we do the stuff year after year after year, and I'm hearing now that the leadership, this is the governor, the House Speaker, and the Senate President, no more. You had your chance. I've had lawmakers say, well, Moon, we gave it a shot. I said, are you going to bring anything up? They said, well, if we couldn't get it done last year, we probably can't get it done. And that's, in my opinion, that's a loser's attitude. It was always going to take more than 1 year. So we're going to sit around here, watch insurance rates go back up or continue to go up, depending on who you are. And we're going to say it's fixed, and it's not fixed. So we did one great law and then some watered-down versions of it. But what I'm hearing is they don't want to go through that no more. They don't want the public talking about it. They don't want it to be in front of them every 5 seconds. And so we may be done with insurance reform or tort reform or whatever you want to call it. And folks, we're not even close to being finished. We're not even close to being there. I'm just telling you what I'm hearing. This is behind the scenes stuff. When you have a conservative look at me and go, I don't think we're going to do anything else. I think we've done all we can do. We didn't get it all done, and the Senate was devastating to us. But we didn't get it all done, so let's move forward. Let's get it done. So if somebody brings some bills, they may never get it. They may never even get a hearing in a committee. They may not get any hearing in a committee. And if it gets a hearing in a committee, might not ever see the floor. Until leadership decides we need to do this, it's not going to be done. And I'm telling y'all, not only this year, they don't want the controversy. Next year. Okay? This year, they're not going to do it in 26. And the following year is 27. Guess what year that is? Election year. They don't want nobody talking about this in election year. But what they don't understand is that insurance rates don't consistently come down and consistently get lowered and consistently go the right way. They're going to get blamed anyway. You know, the House, people that are in the House that are running said, hey, I voted for all that stuff, but Senate screwed it up. Well, Cameron Half-Ass Henry is a screw-up. He's a system guy now. Used to not be, but he's a system guy. I'm not sure he's done work on a consultant for one of these big law firms. I haven't been able to prove that yet, but I'm not sure he's not. They act like they are. Whether they are or not, they act like they are because they always go with the TV trial lawyers who got the most money. I'm just telling you, this may be it. Tort reform may be over for the next 2 years because the leadership don't want to deal with it, which is a shame. All right, thank our friends at Guaranteed Talk 107.3 FM. We appreciate it. And all my great affiliates and great advertisers and you, the fans. We love you to death. All right, we got to take a break, but it's only a few minutes. In some places, it's tomorrow. We'll see you then.